Okay. Good morning or good day in general, right? Whenever you want to view this. Welcome everyone. This is MACHELM, right? This is a special class version of MACHELM. And for today, what I'll be doing is just introducing you to this course, right? What it entails, what you need to do, right? So just very simple, very easy, right? Yeah, just that, right? The thing about this is that this is a special class version, right? And so, well, there are a few special things that you guys are gonna have to like decide for yourselves, right, as a class. But for now, I suppose you guys all know me. This needs no introduction. Blah blah blah. I'm I'm quite I'm quite seen in the department naman. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay? So now here's the thing, right? This is now Mashalem. What are we going to talk about, right? For this subject. And basically Mashalem is the machine elements course. That's what the name of the subject suggests, right? And this is the lead up to the infamous machine design subject. I have to say that I don't know if it is only me who believes in this, but the hardest subject in our whole course is along this line, right? You go through mechanics, right? Statics, dynamics, deformable bodies, right? Those are your NMEX series subjects. And then now we pivot more into how things or how machines actually work, how machines move, and what kinds of machines there are, or more specifically here, what kinds of machine elements, right? What elements make up the machines that we have today, right? And for me, this is the hardest, one of the hardest, if not the hardest, like subject, right? Not Mashalem specifically, but as you go down the line, you will see more machines. You put them all together. You have to design them yourself. So that's very interesting. Also very intimidating for some, for many, right? If you guys don't know yet, this is one of the three, what do you call this? Subjects for our board exam, right? We have the MESL mathematics, engineering, sciences, and laws. So that is your general engineering subject, right? The other one is PIPE, power and industrial plant engineering. So that one is for your thermodynamics kind of subjects, right? Thermo, fluids, heat transfer, that kind of thing, right? And now this last one is MDSP, machine design and shop practice, right? So earlier in our student lives, we were working with lathe machines, stuff like that. So that is also part of this subject, right? And why this is particularly difficult, well, it's split into two reasons, but I won't get into that for now. All I can say is that this is your foundation for everything else down the line, right? Which is machine design 1, machine design 2, right? A lot of the stuff that I will be teaching here will be repeated, albeit on a more advanced level in your machine design course. But this is basically, here are the parts. And later, you will design your parts, right? That kind of stuff, right? There you go, right? But before that, right, this subject is called, the full name is called Kinematics and Dynamics of Machine Elements. The thing about this is that, well, you also have to talk about the kinematics first, right? So we will talk about linkages. We will talk about, or rather, I will define what linkages are later down the line, right? But we will be working with how should I say this? How will this particular configuration of rigid objects move? Will they complete revolutions? Will they have this kind of shape to them when they trace a path? That kind of thing, right? Imagine robot arms, the ones that have articulated joints, the ones that can move around like that. We will be discussing that, right? Before, of course, we go to your machine elements, right? And here is the disclaimer. This is not my forte, okay? I accepted this class because I want to, at the very least, like I want to know, right? I can't have it forever that I'm locked within this mindset that oh, the other parts I'm okay with, this one I'm weak at. No, I don't want that to remain that way forever and ever. So this is my way of trying this out. And of course, I suppose this is a good time for me to try this out. This is a special class. Lots of things can happen, lots of things can change. And I am with you guys here, right? Because you are only like what, 9, 10 people, right? You have some say in what happens, right? Say for example, if you want, well, we'll talk about that later down the line, but you have some say in here, and I can edit some stuff if I feel like this is too advanced, or maybe we won't get to it, right? As much as possible, I'll try to get through all of the machine elements, but yeah, this will be my first time teaching this class, right? Which I suppose is a bit obvious, but the thing is, I'm not a robot person as well. I suppose that is why I am weak with this subject, right? Or with this, everything in general. Although I do find that I really like the NMEX series. Although now, it's not translating as well, right? And so I just want to immerse myself in here, right? And so I have been doing my own reading, right? Hopefully I will be able to give this subject some justice for you guys. And the thing is, I am not a programming person as well. I mean, I'm okay with programming. It's just that, you would expect other members of the faculty to teach this subject, like Sir Ganlim, Sir Tim, Sir Joseph. Sadly, he's off to Korea. So I feel like that's why I'm here instead of Sir Joseph's place. And even though I'm not a robot person, I'm not a programming person, what I am, however, is a math person. So at the very least, like, I can see the elegance, the beauty of it in like a math sense. So maybe I'll infuse that into our teaching, or into my teaching as well for this class. So just so you guys know, right? Okay. Now, for the learning plan, the thing is, because I'm part-time faculty, I do not have the capability to edit, or rather to give out a syllabus. This is just my own thing, right? This is a learning plan. This is not a syllabus for legal reasons. So if you want, you can scan this, right? You can get through this video while you read the learning plan, okay? Okay, so the topic progression is as follows, right? Earlier we said we will go through linkages first, and then we go to machine elements, right? For linkages, we will have 3 topics. We will have the basics, right? Basically like a long list of definitions of terms, things like that. And now topic 2, here we will talk about mobility, right? Another word for mobility is degrees of freedom, right? You might feel there is a bit of ambiguity because that is used basically in a lot of other places. Like, say, for example, statistics, right? Degrees of freedom, vibration engineering for those of you who are going through VibEng or who have already gone through VibEng, right? Mobility, degrees of freedom, that kind of thing. And now topic 3, this is what I say when I say I'm a math person, right? This was supposed to be, I got a lot of advice from Sir Joseph in teaching this. And this was supposed to be the final topic, right? This was supposed to be, if everything is done already, we will go ahead and discuss forward and inverse kinematics, right? This is the mathy portion of this subject, right? And basically it talks about how different movements correspond to different changes in the position of things. That's very vague because, well, I have to make the presentation for this pa. But I have been reading about it. There will be some matrices. So that is your disclaimer, all right? We will discuss matrices and transformations, linear transformations later, okay? And now, for machine elements, here's the thing as well, right? I'm planning for everything here to be interchangeable, of course, subject to your guys' approval. We will discuss 3 different things, right? And 3 different things here will be cams and screws, number 1, right? So basically anything that is threaded, that has a thread, right? So we'll be talking about that, as well as cams. If any of you here are car people, right? You will know the crankshaft of the engines of cars, right? They have these cams that rotate, whatever, make these sorts of custom rotations, or shall we say paths, right? They trace different paths, right? Topic 5, we'll talk about flexible connectors. So you might be wondering, what is a flexible connector? That is the umbrella term for things like belts, right? Belts, conveyor belts, right? That kind of thing. The chains in your bicycles and your motorcycles that hold together, right? The different sprockets so that you can move, right? Those kinds of things are for topic 5, right? Belts, chains. And then topic 6, of course, we'll talk about gears, right? Gears, spur gears, the normal gears, right? And then we'll talk about the different kinds of other gears as well, like bevel gears, worm gears, herringbone gears, those kinds of things, right? I won't go too much into detail as to like how to design gears. Of course, that's for your machine design, but there will be some computation, of course, right? But most of these din will just be for you to understand, or rather for you to be able to identify the, wait a second, I've seen that is a bevel gear. Or at the very least, I know the forces that go into, right, how a gear meshes with other gears, right? That kind of thing. So it's an introduction. It's by no means a supplement to your machine design course. It really is just an introduction, right? So yeah, I plan for this to be interchangeable. I will let you guys decide on how we're going to progress here for topics 4, 5, and 6, right? I recommend that we stay in this default configuration, but like literally anything can go, okay? All right, now for the grades and policies, right? Here is our grading system, right? Only 4 things in here. And as you can see, they are very hefty. Right? We have 2 quizzes, a final exam, your term project, and a teacher's evaluation, right? And because this is an ME major, even though it's only 2 units, your passing grade will be 70%, right? Now, if you think about this, of course, as we can see, the 2 quizzes and the final exam, just like 3 exams, will take up 65% of your grade. So that's quite a lot, right? But the thing is, your term project also is like a major contributor to your grade, right? If you can see this, 40 plus 25, literally, if you perfect everything, but you do not do, or if you do not contribute in your term project, you will not pass, right? The thing about this is the term project is actually 35%-ish. You're wondering, wait, where does the 5% come from? My teacher's evaluation is the 5%. The TE is there for you to, be, for me to at the very least be aware of and punish those who do not contribute to their term project. Okay? That's our goal. All right? All right, so again, we can see this. We have seen this earlier naman, right? The 2 long quizzes are 40%. That means that each quiz is 20% of your grade. You will be doing all of this in person, right? I will not be conducting online exams because I was also a student. I know what happens, okay? And makeup quizzes are also possible, right? You don't have to, of course, please, as much as possible, try to come and take the quiz on time. But if you are if you are absent for some unforeseen circumstance, there you go. Makeup quizzes are possible, but that's still also in person, right? And your final exam is 25% of your grade. Now, here's the thing. This is what I mean to say when you guys have the power in MACHELM, right? This is a special class, and in special classes, technically, what's supposed to happen is I decide. Right? I decide what's going to happen, what the modality will be, right? And the last time, I chose to give fully in-person classes to my Vibeng class. But the thing about this now is that you guys are 10 people, and we already had trouble trying to wrangle a nice schedule for all of us here, right? And so what I'm going to be asking you guys now is that would you like for this to be hybrid, or would you like for this to be fully online, right? I will have this class later. It's 11:30 right now. So as soon as I finish recording this, I will be going to school, right? But yeah, I will be asking the class for a majority vote, right? If they want this to be hybrid or fully online. The thing about this as well is that you guys, I remember your schedule was finalized to be 12, right? And so now I want to ask you what that 12 means, because the 12 to 1 class is a bit, how should I say this? It's in the middle of two different classes, right? The 1 hour 30-minute class that we're supposed to, or the 1 hour 30-minute classes that are supposed to be like normal in the timetable of LaSalle, it would be 11 to 12:30 and 12:45 to 2:15. So we're stuck in the middle of that, right? So it's a good thing I got a room reserved. It feels like we took up two time slots there, but yeah. I would just ask if you guys would like to go hybrid or fully online, and then for us to clarify what the 12 means, right? Would you like to be in the 11 to 12:30? Would you like for it to be 12:45 to 2:15, or is it really that we're going to have to work with this like in the middle kind of session? Okay? And I'm asking because if you do want this to be hybrid, I will have Ate Jen, I will have our department secretary reserve rooms for us for the rest of the term, right? And so I just want to be sure what our time slot should be, okay? So that's it, right? The thing about this is that even though this is a special class, right? The expectation is that, well, it's up to the prof, and for a lot of the special classes I have heard, it's just self-paced, right? But in this case, I will take attendance because I'm so sorry. I don't mean for you guys to be guinea pigs or whatever, but I want to try out my hand in like teaching MACHELM. So I want this to be a class, not just like a bunch of recordings. Okay? And that means that because we meet twice a week, if you are absent 5 times, unless you're DL, you will be FDA'd. Okay? And the thing about this is that, say for example, you come 5 minutes before the class ends, that's okay, right? That's okay. That's fine, right? It's not on me that you guys are like, you're only going to be able to hear 5 minutes of class time, right? And I really do appreciate that you guys are reading announcements, right? There's supposed to be a suspension, but because this is special class, I have the power. And again, there's no pressure for you to, what do you call this? To attend school, right? It was suspended, but I did say in my announcement earlier that if you're unable to go, that's fine, right? There's no pressure. And here's the thing, if I have done things correctly, your grades, as they will appear in Canvas, will be your grades, right? So there's no more need for an Excel spreadsheet so that you can like compute your grades. Everything in there is weighted already, okay? Now, messaging. Here's the thing, right? Even if you guys, even if this is my first time teaching MACHELM, that does not exempt me from, does not exempt you from asking me about MACHELM things, right? I would like it, if you guys are confused about something, literally anything about this subject, to message me, right? It's my job, right? If I am conducting myself in such a way that you now feel embarrassed to message me, I feel like I didn't do my job properly. I'm here to help you guys learn. And I just prefer that we have a specific like arrangement when you guys want to message me. Please message me first on Canvas or on Google Chat in Gmail, right? You guys have seen that already before you go to Messenger, right? Messenger is applicable, say for example, if you guys are not sure if there is a class or not, if there's an online class or an in-person class, right? And I have not announced anything, know nothing from me. I mean, you can message me on Messenger. You can call me, sir, what's happening, right? Are you okay? And, right? The thing about this is that, yeah, you can message me about basically anything about this course, okay? Now, for grading, right? I incentivize lecture participation. I'm not sure how this will go for MACHELM because back in my thermo classes, I used to give incentives, literally, like I just give out plus points for the people who want to answer questions, right? Whenever I pose them to the class. So that's that kind of thing, right? And I mark partial points if I understand your solution. This is the standard that I have, right? Usually, if you try, right, I'll give you 40% of the, what is that? The points that were intended for that question, right? The thing about this now is that it's no longer enough that you guys do something like this, something like given, and then you list down all the givens, and then you go to the next question. No, right? What I need to see is for you to try, right? Even if, right, I just need you to write down a specific formula, the one that you remember, right? Just so I can see that I think, right? So sorry, just so I can look through your solution and I can see that formula, so that I can associate that you are like saying to yourself, nah, I think it is related to this formula, but I'm not sure. I'll just give it a little try, right? I'll substitute, I'll plug in, and then whatever, right? So that, right? And the deadline, right? Well, you guys don't have problem sets, so that's a weird thing for the grading system, right? If you did have problems, wait a second. This is not applicable for you guys. You will not submit anything. We will just have 1, 2, 3, right? 2 quizzes, 1 final exam, and then your term project. So, okay, there is no deadline. All right. Okay, there is no deadline. We will just have 4 things, right? 4 things, 2 quizzes, and then your finals, and then your term project. That's okay, now that I think about it. Okay, anyway. Right. The term project, right, will be hands-on, right? And as long as you do the work, it's yours. That term project grade is yours. Right? Of course, there's criteria, right? So if you do your work, if you do the work, if you have tried this out, if you tried out the model for yourself, right? In your group, there will be groupings here, right? It's yours, of course. If you manage to try it out and it works and then blah blah blah, that's fine, right? The thing is, I am just requesting that you guys do an equitable division of labor, right? This project is very susceptible to an unequal division of labor. If someone is like, oh, I'm good at blank, so now you'll give them everything, right? And then what, the rest will do what, documentation? I don't even require documentation. It will be nice though. I will release a term project primer, but like week 7, something like this, so that you guys are oriented at what's in what we're supposed to do, right? But that's it, right? I only ask that you guys have a hand in everything, just try everything at least, just so you guys understand how the term project is supposed to go, right? And because this is my first class, and because I do not feel particularly rightful in being very like high horsey here, I will round off the final grade. If you have a 69, congratulations, you have passed, right? 69.5, huh? 69.5. Okay? All right. So that's it, right? Now, for the important dates, right? If you guys are looking through the learning plan, sadly, because of the whole delay in the release of the Canvas class, we are pushing back by one, by 1 day, right? So as a result, your quiz 1 will be a bit condensed, right? Your quiz 1 will remain where it is, and now the thing is, your topic 2 will be squished, I think, from 4 meetings to 3 meetings. I think something was squished somewhere. I don't remember where it was, right? So these are the dates, right? These are the expected dates for our discussions. Of course, these are only expected, huh? We will never know, or right, I do not know yet how long everything will take. Most likely, they will take about 2 meetings, 3 meetings, right? but we might have extras. And in that case, we will have this padding. We will have this preparation or padding day, right? As you can see, if everything is going according to plan, we will have our quiz 1 on October 22, right? October 22. And the thing is, it is 1 week from the last lesson before that quiz, right? There will be a padding session in here. And what this will do is that if there are no suspensions, we will use this day. You can ask me anything about the 3 topics so far. And if there is a suspension, we will burn through this what do you call this? This day, right? So we will proceed, like say for example, it was suspended on October 1. So we will now then proceed October 4, October 8, 11, 15, 18, and then we will have our quiz on 22. Right? So that's what the padding day is for. Okay? And for your quiz 2 coverage, we will talk about these things, right? This is the machine elements quiz, right? That will be, if everything is supposed to go according to plan, November 26th. This is literally like the Wednesday before finals week, right? This is week 13 Wednesday. Okay? Now, the thing here is that we will have a face-to-face kind of term project presentation. This is tentative November 29, which is a Saturday. I understand if you guys do not want to go to campus on a Saturday. So actually, because this is a special class, we can move things around, right? If you want, and if you are available, we can do this on finals week, right? By the way, finals week is December 1 to 6, okay? And this is the part where then I surprise the people who are in class for diagnostic assessment. So if you are watching this, I'm so sorry, right? You are not eligible for this thing, right? This diagnostic assessment. But of course, I will be sharing the diagnostic assessment. You will be hearing about this diagnostic from your other classmates who did attend in person, right? The most important question that I want to pose to the people who will be learning MACHELM is visualization. As you guys know, or as you guys might know, I am I tutor sometimes as well. And the thing about this, whenever someone is asking for tutoring for NMEC 1 or NMEC 3, something like that, I always start with asking them, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well can you visualize? Like, for example, if you like close your eyes, imagine a cube, like you imagine rotating that cube around, you try deforming it or stretching it or whatever in your mind, right? Without any other like visual aids. Say for example, like you cannot use SolidWorks or CAD or whatever. Can you do it? Right? Because if you can do it, I feel like you'll have an easier time for this class. That is the linchpin for everything in here. If you're going to find things difficult here, it's probably because you're having difficulty trying to visualize, right? So yeah. So this assessment is good for 30 minutes, right? And the thing is, to incentivize you guys taking this seriously, the scores will be added to your quiz total. So if you are sitting back online, I'm so sorry. I really am sorry, right? But there you go, right? Sadly, you are not able to take this assessment, but the guys in there will be shortly doing that. So it's 11:45. I will now say my goodbyes. Thank you very much for this course introduction. I will see you guys very soon, either in person or online. Thank you.